Like this is the river going through the neighborhood where my aunt lives, all by herself. I imagine this has been cleaned up a lot in the last 10 years, and they put a light show and music and sprinkler thingy majig. I guess, something like Vegas has something similar. This is a small version of it, and there's a lot of people who come in. There's like stadium seating down there, and they come and enjoy it. People on the other side of the river as well. And they have like stadium seating here. It's just like open to the public. This would be filled with homeless people in the US. And but no. The only homeless person here is me. But I could see myself like just sleeping here. Like I could take a 2 hour. All right, here's my luggage. My screen is all foggy. What's up with that? It's my luggage. Just like put my, all right, brush some of the leaves away. And just sleep beside the road in front of the river. It's either that or go across town through the whole metro, blah, 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 lugging my luggage, and find a cheap place to stay in the hustle bustle part of the city. This is not much of a hustle bustle part of the city. It's kind of a little bit for the northern end of the city. I heard an interesting, my new friend that I have here, she used to live here, and I thought that was a huge coincidence. And it's called Sanggmun. Sanggmun, if I'm not pronouncing it right, but kind of like Samsung, but Sanggmun. I don't know. Sang is my dad's name, Sang-o. I wonder if that has anything of significance. But as soon as I got here, I felt like felt there was something special about this place. Not that I want to move here or live here or anything, but that there's something about this place that has some historical significance. I need to research more about this place, kind of thing. Just that my aunt lives here. I wonder why she lives here. I wonder if there are lots of cousins that live here. That kind of thing. My grandfather, her father, was known to have many children. Possibly with illegitimate families, so to speak. He was very wealthy and maybe had multiple families. So Koreans have a beautiful place to come jogging. It's a beautiful night. I'm here in my shorts and just like a woolly jacket. But I could easily sleep here tonight. Live streaming with you all from Korea. The moon is up there. I wonder how long, if this runs all night long with the music. There's music playing from the speakers here. That would be the only annoying part, sleeping with the music. But I like the sound of the water. But these people are filming it. Like, I wouldn't really film this. I'm only living it for you guys. But people enjoy this. Colors, lasers, synchronized fountains. Are they gonna applaud? I guess it's over. I think it's over. Now this is a cool thing to see. Don't have to show her face, but it's hospital patient walking or taking a walk along this running path. All right, this is why don't hospital patients in the U.S. leave the hospital and get some outdoor fresh air and exercise? This only happens in Korea. I've seen this in various cities in Korea. Hospital patients will take their IV and everything and just go outside in their hospital PJs, in their hospital gown, and just go for a walk anywhere. And some walk for very long distances. So even though we're not anywhere near a hospital, or we may be, but you'll see hospital patients blocks and blocks away from the hospital, just walking down the street, along the jogging paths. And it makes sense. Like, part of healing and recovery involves not just staying in a hospital room all day. You should go out and go for a walk as well. Go walk along the river, enjoy the water show, get some fresh air, get outside of the hospital. So yeah, if I was ever needing to go to a hospital to be, heal for some sickness, I would much rather go to a hospital in Korea. I would actually get on a plane, pay $1,500, $2,000, whatever, get on a plane, go all the way to Korea, check myself into a hospital there for whatever, and then it would be much cheaper for sure, and it would be a better healing experience, I'm sure, where you're encouraged to go outside with your IV walker. 감사합니다. 감사합니다.
아니야, 그건 놔두셔.
And then, yeah, and there is actually a travel medical program, tourism, medical care, I guess they call it, right at the hospital, at the airport. When you get off at the airport, there's a booth for medical tourism. That's what it's called, and they would help you get to the specialists and the hospitals that you need to go to, and it would be 10 times cheaper than anything in the US. Myself, I need to go get a checkup, and it would probably cost me like $20 just to walk in, no insurance, sit down and see a doctor, no appointment needed, and get a full health checkup, and that's it. In the US, with insurance, definitely costs more than $20. Definitely. But that's the main reason my parents are here. So yeah. Anyways, into what happened at my aunt's house. Her, her brain is great. It's amazing how with it she is. And she showed me a bunch of pictures. We talked a little bit. Seeing her, I was like, I didn't think she would be able to even like cut an apple, but she cut an apple for me, and cut and peeled an apple for me, and we had a conversation. Difficult as because I was using my phone to translate, but I forgot many questions that I wanted to ask. But one of the interesting questions that I found the answer to was, my dad always told me my grandparents were Christian, and it was like, I was like, all of them? How far back? He was like, oh yeah, all of them. That was a lie. My dad and sister were the first to join the Christian church that their friends brought them to. I guess it was like a social thing when they were younger, teenagers or whatever. So my dad wasn't always Christian, because he told me my granddad was Christian, but he wasn't. My aunt said he didn't go to church. So I was like, what? Really? That's different. It's different than I've been told. I had kind of been wondering whether that was true. And now I know the truth. Now I know the truth. Granddad was not a Christian. That's a huge news to me. That's amazing. Things make a lot more sense just with that little information. And that would be like a 2-hour live to discuss that, why that makes things make sense for me a lot. But yeah, I'm going to sideburner that. I just wanted to show you guys what this cool area was like, and the spot I may be sleeping at tonight as a homeless person in Korea who also needs to buy my flight back to Brazil. What's today? Thursday? I'm wondering if airline tickets are high. I should wait until after Chuseok. I think a lot of people are out of work and they might be getting together and buying plane tickets on their free time. It's holiday. So yeah, I'm going to... I want to get back because I don't have a place to stay really. I might have to go back home. Maybe give it one last chance with mom and dad, but I can't really. But I have to stay here for like a month because my laptop's getting fixed for like a month. And also my cousin's coming to Korea. I'd like to see him in like a month. It's gonna be a wild time. So here's my idea. I hope, I'm like, can I buy a tent, a really small tent, and go to like a quiet place along the beach or nature, in the mountains, and camp somewhere where that has like a shower and bathroom facility within walking distance. I know Korea has some amazing camping spots with really nice camping facilities like bathroom and shower. So I'm like, is that possible? Then I'm like, is that expensive per night to do like a month of camping? I mean, maybe like I'm hoping $10 per night entrance fee. I could do. I'm hoping it would be that way. If it is, it would be great. If it's like $20, $30, it's like it's like $1,000 to camp. I'm hoping it's like $300 to camp for a month. But yeah, I need to find some people who can tell me, who know about camping in Korea, to tell me where it's a cheap, but also really nice, not really nice, but like peaceful place, whether it's at the beach or like in the mountains somewhere. Uh, I feel like Korea is um, low key one of the great camping countries of the world. Just from driving around, I've seen campers, and I'm like, wow, that's like a pretty dope camping setup they've got here in nature or at the beach, with like really nice bathroom facility, like a shower and everything that weren't like trashy at all. Um, but yeah, that's what I'm gonna try to figure out, because I'm trying to make it on my own, because my mom wants me to be dad's replacement after my dad dies from cancer. My mom treats my dad like a slave and a punching bag for her rage and fury at the regrets and suffering that she has in her life. So she basically feels like she never had a choice to get married, stay married, have kids, so on and so forth. And now she's old, and at the final years of her life, and now everyone else has to pay. So now everyone else has to do what she says, and she forces them to do whatever she says, and she spends all day and night hating my dad, who's the only one who's with her now, because everyone pretty much doesn't want any of her bullshit. So with no other family, my dad and her are the only one together. My dad has been brainwashed by her, just like my mom has brainwashed me since I was a child. The first time I ever used the word grooming was today, when I realized, wow, she spent my entire life grooming me to be, oh, look at that little kitty. Little pudgy, well-fed kitten, just taking a stroll with everybody. First cat I've seen out here in the streets of Korea. You won't come over. I'm happy I chose this place, because now I got to see the first wild cat. Anyways, that's the situation. My mom has been grooming me since a child to be her obedient slave. And I woke up. I always knew about it. I always knew she was crazy manipulative, crazy controlling, crazy treating me like her property rather than my own person. Like, for instance, she loved Bill Clinton and his saxophone that he used to play. And so, without asking me, she bought a very expensive saxophone and was like, "You learn to play." Like, why? And I guess a lot of Korean parents do this. Because I like saxophone. I mean, it's like, couldn't you have let me choose an instrument? Like, that was outside of her, um, just absolutely, you choose your own instrument that you like? No. I'm the mom. I pay for the saxophone. I'm the mom. You're my property. You do as I say. And so I had to spend years going to saxophone classes, that learning to play an instrument that I had no interest in learning, and I didn't enjoy the sound at all. Just that. It wasn't anything I enjoyed doing. It was just forced labor, really, playing this musical instrument that I didn't like. So lots of hours wasted there. And lugging that damn heavy thing. And it was too big as well. She didn't ask the guy, I guess, the store that she bought it from, what size is a good size for a 12, 13-year-old kid. No, not 13. It was like 11, 10, 11, 12. Those were the years. And 12 until I finally threw that saxophone down the stairs once, because I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. But yeah, I used to hate lugging that big ass band instrument to school every day and getting made fun of, because it was like band nerds only played those kind of instruments. Anyways, back to so that was an example of grooming. And when I got here, I found out the reason why my mom was nagging me to come back to Korea since last year. It was because right as I left, my dad found out he had cancer. I only had a couple years left, 2-3 years left. And so they didn't tell me this, but my mom started to realize soon she's going to be alone. And currently, she has only my dad. And who is that? For my mom, it's not like, oh, my loving husband, my partner in life. My dad is her punching bag. She's so angry at life, and she uses my dad as someone to blame. It's just like knee-jerk what she does. She blames others for all of her problems. She blames my dad for everything. And that's her way of dealing with her suffering. But it's like not a true dealing with it. It's not a true healing it. It's just a perpetual way of her not blaming herself. She's constantly blaming my dad instead of herself, and she refuses to blame herself for her life choices. And she refuses to heal. You can't heal until you take responsibility for all your life choices. So instead, she's just so angry, and beats up on my dad emotionally, calling him stupid all the time. I hate you all the time. And my dad is like an abusive in an abusive relationship, like a domestic violence abusive relationship. A lot of women stay with their boyfriend or husband, even though he is a violent man that beats her, right? We've seen those Ike Turner situations. And the women stay with them because they themselves think, oh, I'm worthless, stupid, it's my fault. Um, I'm the one who made my boyfriend or husband angry, and that's why he beats me. So, right? It's like that kind of thing with these women that stay in an abusive relationship. And often people don't realize that there are men who are emotionally abused, not abused with their fists. Like my mom isn't beating my dad with physically, but she's beating my dad emotionally, mentally, through words, just constant, you stupid, stupid man, how terrible. And so my dad now is stupid. He is really stupid because he's been groomed by his wife for 50 years to think he's stupid. He's just heard it every day for 50 years. And so now my dad is like, oh, okay, I am stupid. And so he stays with her because he's like, oh, she needs to make all the decisions for me then. I'm so stupid, I can't exist on my own. I need my wife who tells me I'm stupid all the time to make all the decisions for me, tell me what to do, and it's okay. That's what he wanted. That's what he allowed. And that's what he's dependent on. So he does everything my mom says. Everything. And he once stood up against her when it was my sister who refused to obey my mom. And my mom kicked my sister out of her life, out of the house. They were living in that same house together. And my dad tried to stand up to my mom, and my mom basically made war against my dad and made my dad's life miserable. And then my dad gave in and said, okay, did what mom wanted. And so what happens then? I come in. I come here to Korea. My mom calls me in. Brings me to Korea to see them. And right away she tells me dad is dying of cancer. He only has 2 years left. And she's also like asking me, do I want to live in Korea? Where you want to live? Tell me where you want to live. Answer now. She's like, it's like weird, right? Like, what do you mean? Like, Korea's a pretty cool place, but I don't know the people here. I don't know what work I would do here. I don't know if I want to live in your house forever. Like what? I'm like not able to make that decision for now. But I could tell like she wants me to live with her and dad. But I was still like processing the new information that my dad was dying. I'm like, I'm still in shock, still in mourning, right? I'm like kind of numb. And at the same time, my mom is like, you need to cut your beard now. Go cut it now. And I'm just like, let's change the topic. I'm not going to cut it. you need to change it now. And I'm like, let's talk about it. Why do you need me to cut it? It's like, because everybody here think you're a drug dealer. And I'm like, well, fuck them. These are like, why do you care so much about what other people think? And she's like, but and I'm like, thinking that's the entire thing, is like, she's in the prison of caring about what other people think. And I realized that wasn't really it. It was like only 30% of the issue. It was really 70%. She wants me to be dad. Like, dad doesn't have a beard. She never let dad have a beard. She wants dad to have a clean shaven face, because having a beard, me having a beard is pretty much against, it's like my own free will, right? Like, you're choosing to let your natural self be. And she doesn't want anyone to have their natural self be allowed to exist. She wants everyone to conform to her wishes. She wants to only see clean shaven, clean hair. So anyways, yeah, I realized, oh my God, yeah, she has completely forced my dad to get a certain type of haircut and always shave. She picks out his clothes. She controls everything about him, while still calling him a stupid idiot, while still hating him, abusing him mentally, everything. And when my dad's gone, she's gonna have no one to do that with. And so she's trying to groom me to replace my dad after he's gone. And that means I can't have my own beard. Dad didn't have a beard. That means I can't have a beard. She needs me to be exactly under her control. And so that's why she wanted my beard gone. And I realized that, and that's when I was like, I gotta leave then. This has all been just a grooming attempt. Way to force me under the guise of love and all that. But really, this is my mom refusing to go to therapy, refusing to take responsibility of her life, accountability, stop blaming other people, and heal. Instead, she'd rather continue to blame other people, control other people, and abuse other people because she's not happy. And so now I realize that I'm never going to be able to see my parents again. My mama's basically so sick in the head, and she's gonna prevent me from seeing dad. She's gonna blame me for abandoning them. They think she tells my dad, and he believes it because he believes anything she says. He believes he's stupid. She says he's stupid, so he listens to mom and thinks what mom thinks, which is I abandoned them to keep a beard. A beard was more important to me than them. And that's one way to think about it, but it's so obviously myopic. It's them who chose my individuality. It's them who are so adamant. It's so important that I conform and obey mom for every little thing. And that's not my that's not why children exist. Children do not exist to conform and obey all the wishes of the parents. And that's where my mom will never concede. She literally, before I was born, decided to have children in order to create obedient slaves that obey and conform to whatever she says. Because she gave birth, she worked hard, she spent all this money on children. She sees that as her right to control everything about that child, that investment. That's an investment of her life there, that the child is rebelling and negating, breaking the contract that she claims us children signed by existing. So yeah, the family is slavery here in Korea. I think a lot. I think it's a lot. A lot of families are like this, where parents think children are property, an investment that must be paid back through obedience and conformity. And unfortunately, it's I'm not meant to be anyone's property. I'm not meant to be mom's punching bag. I'm not meant to be mom's obedient slave. My dad has unfortunately chosen that life, or allowed his brain to be groomed to be mom's punching bag, mom's scapegoat for her unhappiness, and mom's slave. And with that, I've also lost my dad, who I love. So I love my mom and I love my dad. They worked very, very hard, very, very, very hard. They gave me a privileged, middle class, maybe even slightly upper middle class lifestyle. I lived in a very nice neighborhood. My parents spent money for tutoring and college and everything. Gave me money, down payment for the house. I mean, most of it, not all of it. Half of it was my money and Fannie Mae's money. But yeah, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's what kids cost, right? For middle class. Each kid costs like $150,000 to $500,000. That's why Koreans aren't having kids anymore. But I hope any Koreans that are having kids now and are spending $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 for their kids and their education and all that, they don't think that their kids owe them their obedience and are required to be their slaves, and certainly not their punching bags. So I was my mom's punching bag as well in the house. She really blamed men a lot. She had, like a feminist idea that She should have been able to stay at home. I know you think that's, wait, feminist idea to not work and stay at home? Yeah, there are feminists who think only a man should work and a woman should get all the money from the man working, and it's the man who should be a slave, and a woman should be able to spend all the money that she wants, and a man should have um, no money to himself, and that if a man doesn't do that, then they deserve all the blame. So in that marriage, my mom blamed my dad for not being able to stay at home, and now she blames all men for forcing women to have kids and stay married and not get divorced. She blames men, and also having to work all their lives. Oh gosh, she hated men. She hated my dad, and she hated me as well. And even though I was only 10 years old, 12 years old, 15 years old, 18 years old, 20 years old, 25 years old, whatever, she still hated me, and she like abused me and told me I was stupid. She told me I was stupid a lot. That was going back to when I was like 8. Like, she would sit me down at the kitchen table. Jeffrey, I want to talk to you. After a hard day of work, miserable, and then want to use me as a punching bag. And she would sit me down and grab whatever random object that wouldn't leave bruises, but would hurt a lot. So it could be like a sandal, or it could be like a random handbag or purse, like a woman's clutch purse. Like, it's not like a hard object, but it doesn't feel good to get whacked with it with full strength to your face, like right in your face. And she would scream at me, "Are you stupid? Are you so stupid? I work so hard. Why are you goofing off all the time?" And she would say to me, "Answer me. Why are you goofing off all the time?" What do you mean? How do you answer? Why am I goofing off? I'm a kid. And she would whack at me when I didn't answer fast enough. So, yeah, sorry to trauma dump, but all that fucked me up as a kid, and I became very introverted. I became very low self-esteem. I became very lacking in confidence. And I used to be like the leader. I used to be pretty popular and a leader and extroverted, and I would always be the one to be like, okay, this is what we're gonna do today. We're gonna go on this adventure, blah, 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 and like get all the kids to follow me, whatnot, and so forth. I was very alpha, and it wasn't like controlling. It was just like, it was like I was just a very confident kid, and I used to talk to everybody. I used to have a nickname, Hot Dog. I don't know why that became my nickname, but it was like, everyone loved it. Everyone liked me. There was nobody who didn't like me as a kid. They all called me Hot Dog. They all wanted me to. I was funny. I was always entertaining everyone. I was the class clown. But right around, I think around 9, 10, 11, 12 years, it just got really bad. And by the time I went to junior high school, I was a different person. I became very introverted, very self-doubting, very self-critical. Um, and that it was like that through my formative years, all the way until 28, 29. And then I had to like work on it. I had to like fake it till I make it. I had to do like self-help books. I had to do I tried to do like pickup game. Right around at that time, there was like on the internet, on forums, there were nerds learning how to talk to women. I was like one of them, all trying to heal myself through whatever means possible, and never really looking at why I was that way until I realized, yeah, it was my mom, and I had to separate with myself from her because she had never had anything good to say about me. It was literally like every time she saw me, she would say, I look terrible, so sick, so weak. Like, it was just that constantly. And it's like that today. And so in my late 20s, early 30s, I cut off contact with my parents because of that, to heal my self-confidence. And I kind of did over the years, slowly. And getting back to opening myself up to my parents again was after my spiritual journey. The last 5 years, I felt like I've healed most of my self-hate, developed a bunch of self-love, discovered who I truly was, and living closer to my true authenticity, no longer trying to imitate and conform to others and people please, and lacking self-confidence to be myself, all of that. And so I thought, I could reconnect with my parents now. Like, even if my mom is terrible to me, I can just be like, okay, it just bounces off me. And for the most part, it did. Like, oh, you look terrible. Yeah, you've been saying that forever. Yeah, you've been saying that forever. I just keep saying, yeah, you've been saying that forever. I know it's not true. Oh, you look so much skinnier this year. You say that literally every year. If that was true, I'd be like 10 pounds, right? Like every year, if I lose 10 pounds, it would only be 10 years before I'm like 10 pounds, right? So like, I would just go back and forth like this. Like, yeah, so how much did I lose this weight? How much pounds did I lose this year? Because last year you said I lost 10 pounds, 15 pounds. How much did I lose this year? Like, just fucking with her. But then it got ugly, and she was like, that beard you must decide. Beard or your parents. Decide now, or get out, never come back, and you don't get to see your dad ever. He will die, and you don't come to the wedding either. And I was like, oh, this is her grooming me again, like to the next level, like to the extreme. And she's not gonna let me just play it off. She's gonna kick me out of the house, which is what she's done. And unfortunately, I lost my parents. And I don't know if it's something I should have done. I don't know if there's something I can take responsibility for in terms of... Because I do say I'm a bad son. I could have been a better son, blah, 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 blah. But I didn't have a relationship with my mom. She never... Like my cousin, he comes to visit his parents, and they go on a little trip together. And it was like, I can't do that with my mom as much or as willingly, because when James was in like younger, they would spend time like going to movies together. Like in teenage years. My mom never was like, I'm gonna want to go to the movie with you. No. She only wanted to use me as a punching bag. So yes, I admit I was a bad son. Not like calling my mom very often, not there's a lot of things I could have been more. I could have done more. But I'm also kind to myself and say, what kind of. There's a lot of people that would not do more after having gone through what I went through. After how my mom treated me. A lot of people, a majority of people, I'm talking at least 80% of people would have done much, much less than I would have done with my mom. Like the manipulation, the lies, the grooming to be a slave and obedience 100%, and the grooming to be a punching bag for her anger and hatred and scapegoat for all of her problems. Yeah, a lot of people would have gone no contact much earlier and never came back. I know Koreans are all about money. Money, 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 money. And so a lot of Koreans will criticize me and say, she spent all this money on you, she gave you all this money, 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 and you don't appreciate it at all. Da, 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 da. And there's truth to it. I am appreciative. That's kind of why I do still love my parents, right? Even though all the abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse, all the hatred and lack of support that I received to be my best self, to receive what do you call it? Support, I guess is the word, to increase my confidence, right? I think that's the best gift a parent can give a child at this point, is teaching them self-love, high self-esteem, and self-confidence. I wish I had Kanye's mom versus my mom. But I didn't, and so I'm a bad son. Go ahead and call me it. I should be far more grateful of my privilege to grow up in a privileged, wealthy-ish home. I should be grateful that my parents don't depend on me for their retirement. They made enough money to retire, which is rare. They've done well. They've made good money. They've worked hard. I am grateful for it. But that gratefulness only can go so far. It can't go all the way to me completely giving up my life and being a slave to my parents. 100% slave. With no freedom, no individuality, no ability to say, hey, you don't get to blame me for all your life problems. You don't get to abuse me for all your regrets and suffering that you did. You don't get to abuse me. You don't get to tell me I have to do exactly what you say. That's kind of where it's at. I came here. I could be very open to spending a couple years, you know, by my parents' side, living in their house, helping them, being a good son in their final years as they're getting old and probably need someone to take care of them. Um, I could do that, but only if they respected my individuality, only if they allowed me to be who I am, including having facial hair. All right, if I want to have facial hair, it's a normal thing in the world. It's a very normal thing in the world. But apparently in Korea, no, I don't like it. Well, you don't have to like it. I'm my own person. No, you're not. You're my son. You have to do what I say. I spent so much money. No, no, I'm sorry. I'm grateful for all the money that you spent on me and gave me a privileged life. But no, that doesn't mean I have to be your slave and do exactly what you say. All the little things that you want, you don't get to control about me. I don't have to look how you want me to look. It's just superficial looks. And if you have to be the one in control of my superficial looks, then you don't get to demand obedience due to gratitude of whatever money you spend on me. Because ultimately, a mother and a father, that's what your responsibility is to make and provide for your children and to provide and pass on wealth to your children so that they can pass on wealth to their children. And each generation gets wealthier and wealthier and wealthier, and each generation has easier and easier lives. Imagine if each generation received a house, right? So my parents would work hard, build a house, live in it, and then pass it on to me for free. And then I would work hard and add like an extra suite, like a separate 2-bedroom, 1 family room, 1 kitchen, just a small basic suite. I would add that to the house, or a level, right? I would add an extra level. And then my son would add an extra level, or daughter, whatever. And then their son would add and then like 10 generations later, you have a building like that, right? 10 generations later, you have tons of nieces and nephews and all living in a building like that, 15 stories, and 150 units, because generations been getting wealthier and wealthier, and lives are easier and easier. But that's been taken away because people have had their mind warped by the idea that kids are slaves and not the future. I don't even have the word for it. All I know is actually in parts in China, this is how it works. You can go find wealthy families that literally own a condo building, like a skyscraper, like 20 stories, and the entire building is one family, like cousins, nieces, and nephews, and uncles and aunts and grandparents, all living, all like literally 400 people, all one family living in a really nice new condo building. And how did this happen? Well, this is a family that literally passed on all their generational wealth and always passed on all their generational wealth to their kids. And they have a book that goes back like 20 generations listing out all the family members and all the things that they contributed to their family going back 800 years, whatever. And now they're all comfortably living in a really great condo. None of them pay rent at all. None of them have paid rent in centuries, right? They've always owned and built greater and bigger homes. And yeah, it's now 2025, and they probably sold all the land and homes that they had in one spot and took that money and built a 2025 skyscraper with all the modern amenities, all the modern conveniences, luxuries, and they're just like sitting pretty. All right. They probably even rent out a bunch of rooms as Airbnbs or income generating. Right. It's probably like shops and restaurants on the ground floor, coffee shops and everything. They rent out, collect rent money, and they're just all sitting pretty, enjoying life. All because they didn't treat their kids like slaves who had to obey their parents and just be property to their parents. So anyways, just looking at the chat now, Sax Pac-Man said the use is not meant for walking, sadly. I guess that was when I was talking about hospital people walking outside. Pragati Suyanawashi. That's a difficult name to say. All right, I'm gonna go get some dinner, and then I'm gonna go figure out what I'm gonna do for sleeping tonight. Can I sleep out here? Will the police, what does it say here? No sleeping? Will the police throw me out? I know a lot of people get crazy drunk and then pass out in Korea, in Seoul. Do I have to act like I'm drunk in order to be able to sleep here on this bench? I don't know. I'd like to live it. I'd really like to live it. Anyways. I'm trying to figure out, is it electric? No, because she was just like, those bearings are really good. She was just like strolling for so long without a pedal. There's not a lot of skateboards here. Scooters, yes, but skateboards, no. I wonder if they're not allowed? Like, what's the difference between a scooter and a skateboard except for the handlebar? If scooters are allowed, then skateboards should be allowed. I would like a scooter like that. A skateboard that is shaped like a scooter. I wonder if that's possible. Like a scooter without handlebars. Because 4 wheels are kind of annoying. Like roller skates with 4 wheels. They're kind of annoying. Rollerblades are so much more, um, have so much more glide. So I would like a skateboard with more glide, not 4 wheels, just have 2 inline wheels. Maybe have the wheels be a little bit thicker for better balance, right? All right, I'm gonna go find some food. Maybe I'll just eat here. It seems like just like a food not as great, but just a local spot. This is just where people come to eat cheap, local, basic food. That's what I want. Nothing special. Do I need to push a button here? Or will this know to change for me? I don't see a button. Is there a button here? No. I'm getting tired. I haven't slept much because of all the drama going on. So much drama. Oh, this looks cute too. There's no one here. I wonder. A little Japanese, what do you call it? Donkasu? Is it chicken? I wish they had. I think this is kind of like a jjajangmyeon place. Yep, seafood and jjajangmyeon. Ooh. Seafood jjajangmyeon and soup. $8. Actually, that's not jjajangmyeon. That's rice. That's interesting. I don't think I'll get that. I thought it was jjajangmyeon. I'll get something in the metro. It'll be cheaper. Like I'll get something from CU. CU is like 7-Eleven. And they have like kimbaps there for like $2. That's what I should do. Get a $2 dinner because I am homeless. I need to save money. I need to survive for a month. I can't be spending money willy-nilly on food this time of year. But I want to so much. I've been fantasizing of eating so much Korean food. Eating so much fucking Korean food because in Brazil there's no Korean food, right? Like that. Oh, that would be so good. How much is this? I'm hoping there's a place that would feed me for 10,000 won, like some amazing deal. But alas, no, I think it's more of a 30,000 minimum per person. Yeah. I gotta find out if I'm on the right road. In the fucking wrong way for like 2 blocks. I'm not gonna get home, or I'm not gonna get to sleep tonight until like 1 a.m. I don't think. Or find a place to sleep until like 1. This is the life of a homeless man in Korea. This is the life of a homeless man in Korea. So apparently, the richest private school in Korea is in this neighborhood somewhere. And like the principal hung himself in the school recently because he was accused of taking bribes from like some oligarch kid's parents. And I think a lot of people get murdered by oligarchs, and it's made to look like suicide. And then because it's suicide, it gets reported as suicide by someone who was guilty of taking bribes. So I'm such a, I look behind the curtain and I see like it happens so often. I think really I don't quite believe that these people were taking bribes. I think these people were just getting murdered for finding out something about these families through their kids. All right, I think this is I don't think I'm gonna find a good restaurant on this road. This is like a highway. There's no parking here. Or not parking, but it's far away from a metro stop. And cars are not gonna be able to slow down and see a decent restaurant. Grand opening for this pork barbecue place. What's this? These are pretty decent prices. 10,000 won. There's like no one here though. What's up with that? Should I go check it out? I don't know if I want Korean barbecue, because if you know about Korean barbecue, you get like coated in grill smoke, and that's kind of like annoying to get out of your clothes and to take a shower. I don't want to be smelling like Korean barbecue, because 'cause I don't know if I'm gonna be able to wash my clothes anytime soon. So I kind of want to keep it more simple foods. I think I have 2 more blocks to get to the station. Close to the station, there should be some really decent food options. Kasamiya, what's that? Is that Italian food and a Korean? There's a Burger King. I wonder if Korean Burger King is different. I haven't, it's the first time seeing a Burger King. I've seen McDonald's, but kind of weird at a gas station Burger King. Oh, I can tell I'm getting closer to the metro or subway station. Some more. Oh, I can do my laundry here. Hey, I could go eat barbecue, sleep on the benches where the river was, and wash my clothes. Korean man, Korean homeless man. Korean homeless man. I guess vaping is pretty popular in Korea. There's a lot of kids that love smoking. Cousin. I think a lot of Koreans have that addictive personality. Shabu shabu. Shabu shabu. Shabu shabu, you dip meat into a water broth. Dinner for 16,000. It's like $12. Again, I need like $6. 9,000, 10,000 won. Or less. I'll go to a different CU. Hi, Grandma. It's natural to get older. Natural to get older. I'm just thinking about what my aunt said. I was like hoping to get some advice from her as the oldest person in our family, I think, alive right now. Basically talking about how my mom is not aging gracefully. She's very angry about getting older, dyeing her hair to refuse to get older. Making my dad dye his hair black as well. She refuses to let him get older. He's so ugly. Oh, look at all these restaurants. Woohoo! Ooh, look at all these restaurants. Woohoo! You know what? I should celebrate my liberation. My first 2 or 3 days at my mom and dad's house, I didn't spend much money. And I've been eating kimbap because my mom was mad at me every day, so she was refusing to buy me good food, just buying me cheap kimbap. So I do believe eating real food. This place has a lot of people. Oh, is it a chicken spot? I think it is. I think my mom ate here. I think me and Amanda ate here before. At a different one, but I think this might be a chain. I'm gonna send a photo to Amanda.